I'm super, super excited to have Julie Boyce with me tonight, all the way from India. How you doing?
Awesome. It's been a really great trip. Wait, this is my first time coming to Kerala, the state of. So I've been to Kochi and I stayed in an ashram for the first 7 days, which is amazing. And then I met with my yoga teacher, Guru Swami Mahesh, and he's been taking us around on lots of adventures on by boat. And um, we've been through temples and churches and synagogues and lots of fun stuff. And now we're at an Ayurveda center that will spend the next 10 days. Oh, the peacock saying hello. Um, so I'm here for the next 10 days. I start treatments this morning. It's not, it's, what time is it? 7:40 here this morning. We've been up since about 4:30, or I've been up since 4:30 this morning. And then, so I start treatments this morning. So I'll be offline for the rest of the week until I get back.
Wow. So when you say treatments, what does that mean?
So I've come from every year I come to get some rejuvenation treatments. So we get a full body massage once a day, foot massage at night, along the head to help calm your nerves and relax you. And yeah, so it's a full detox. So I'm taking detoxing things. So we're getting clean from the inside out. Yeah.
Wow, that's so amazing. I should preface this that you're going to be doing or leading or facilitating the yoga for the Unleash Your Greatness conference. And
Yes.
for anyone who's just kind of wants to know a little bit about you, besides the fact that you are traveling in India right now, but do you want to maybe share just a little bit about your background in yoga?
Yeah, for sure. So I started yoga probably in 2002. I took my first class and thought, this is not for me. It's way too slow. I don't know how you can get any
Oh.
exercise from this. And then, so I let it go. And then I started back with it. My girlfriend started a yoga studio, a hot yoga studio actually in 2009. And, um, and I really wanted to support her. She was really excited about it. And I really wanted to be there to help her. So I was taking her classes twice a week for a couple years, and then she closed her studio, and then I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? I really love this, and I'm hooked. So I found out from another friend that that there was another woman in town teaching yoga, and when I attended her classes, they were much different. They were way more connected to a body and mind connection. It was more about the feeling and getting to know your body as
Mhm.
opposed to exercise. So I started training with her, um, and I had gone through some issues at work where I was stressing myself out and taking on way too much, and experienced what some call the nervous breakdown. So when I was able to get back on my feet, literally, I had a hard time walking and talking and moving,
Oh
and
my gosh.
but once I was able to connect back and reconnect with my body and mind,
Mm.
I started doing some yoga to get me through my recovery. That was one of the first things that I had done, and that's what I truly believe helped me to be where I am today in India, where it all started. So from there, I really got it. I really wanted to learn, as close to the origin of where yoga came from as I could. So I um, studied with an Indian guru, and then in Montreal actually, because I wanted to learn how to cook vegetarian Canadian style. And then in uh, 2018, my yoga teacher. So I met Swami Mahesh was traveling to my yoga studio in Woodstock, and he was just one of those people that made you light up, or he was lit up, but I lit up when I was seeing him
Right.
smile. He was, combined yoga and travel together. So I ended up traveling with him to Costa Rica and Iceland and India, and then I've traveled with him almost every year since then, and I learned yoga to be a teacher through him as well. So I've taken two yoga teacher trainings. Honestly,
Wow. So you've
it's
been
been
going, how many times have you been to India now?
This is my fourth time to India.
Wow. And you still get something out of it each time you go?
Absolutely. It's like visiting so many different countries in one, really. Like into this region, and it's so lush and beautiful, and the people are amazing, and this facility is awesome. It's just really beautiful.
Yeah, so you were saying this is the first time you've traveled here.
Yes, to this location. Yeah, this is on the, I think the southwest coast of India.
Because I was going to say, like, okay, so usually you can hear honking and you can hear like lots of noise, and you so can't hear that where you are right now.
Right. It is so tranquil here. All you hear is nature and the birds and the peacocks. Um, and then yeah, like this side of the of India seems like less traffic, although we were in Coimbatore yesterday and there was quite a bit of traffic, but nothing like Delhi or Bangalore. Yeah, it's been really great.
So you're going to be coming to the conference and doing that yoga piece, but you're also going to be speaking this year. And I know that you considered that last year. You want to share maybe why that didn't happen or why it's
Yeah, and
happening
then
now?
you know, yeah, because, well, a few different reasons. One is because I was terrified to get up and talk, and I was writing out all the things and had to have it perfect, and I just had too many things going on, and I felt like I didn't have enough time to do it, and I didn't set aside the time to do it, um, and I felt really bad for not speaking.
No, no.
But then, like this past year, I had been working with you and you were helping me with like setting my time management, which I think is so funny because I mean, I taught time management in my corporate world. So um, it was really interesting to see how, all these things that I wanted to do that I didn't put in my calendar to do because if I put it in my calendar, it was work. And if I was working, then that wasn't fun. And I wanted, you know, to have more fun in life. And then what I was finding was that I would do this, I'd work and get on with the calendar, get my stuff into my calendar, and then I'd sit down to do what I wanted to do, and then I'd start doing other things. So then we worked through that. Okay, well, maybe I needed more detail in my calendar. So I, set outside the detail. This is what I wanted to do. Specifically, I'm really interested mostly in writing a book. So I would put write a book, write a book, write a book in my calendar. So when I sat down to write a book, I was like, oh my gosh, where do I start? Oh, I got to have everything together. I need to see the whole thing. I need to see the big picture. So then we went through the detail. Okay, let's start with this section. Okay, so I'll only focus on that section. So still, I would sit down and I go to do that section and I'd be like, oh, I should do the laundry. Oh, I should do this. So I'm like, okay, Lori, I got to come back and see you and find out doing this thing that I want to do. So, and this has been something that right after the breakdown that I had, maybe 2 weeks after, I knew I needed to write this book. Like there was no question, I need to write a book.
And how long
So,
ago is that? Like if we just give like a reference,
2014. So it's like
2014. Okay.
working on this.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I got to get through this. Something is keeping me from moving through and getting to where I want to be. So I sat with you. We went through some things, and one of the questions you asked me was, what are you afraid of if there was no distractions? And I was like, what are you talking about distractions? I'm not distracted. I just can't get. I went down to write that answer, and I I was like, okay, I need to write this in a really good book because this is going to be the meat of what I'm going to learn here. So I got to get a really nice book to write in. So I get the book and I sit down to write it, and I write out the question. And I'm like, oh, I'm not even dressed yet. I should go get dressed. And then I'm like, oh, my closet is really messy. I'm going to clean out my closet. So I cleaned out my closet. I sat back down and I was like, oh, I'm hungry. I don't want to be disturbed by any kind of distractions here. So I'm going to go eat. So I go eat, I come back and sit down and I practice this form that I learned in the summer where there are 10 minutes of, I'll just set my timer for 10 minutes and then I'll write and write and write. So I sat down and I wrote, And I recognized all the distractions that I had just by doing that task. So what I recognized through that was that
You are
I
distracted.
am
Yeah.
distracted, causing
Yeah.
that. So you helped do that. And that's what I'll talk about at the conference and all the great things that have happened since then. And even this trip, like I've traveled so many places and I've traveled for so many years. And this is the first trip that I really have been able truly to take in everything and feel so free and not so worried about things that I didn't even recognize I was worried about before. Um, and I don't even know how to explain it. But like even my packing, for example, I usually pack like 3 months in advance. I'm packing my bag and I'm like, oh, I think I should take this. I think I should take that. I'll just pack it here. And then maybe 2 weeks before I go, I unpack everything and I check my list and I pack it all together. And then about a day before I go, I'm like packing extra things. Oh, maybe I'll need this. Maybe that. And this trip, I packed the day before. In fact, it was the night before I left. And I did the video and I closed up my suitcase and I left. So I did a Facebook video,
I
is
saw it.
what
I
I
saw
mean,
it. Yeah.
which is a thing that I would never have done before,
Yeah.
or I was really trying, but didn't feel like confident or comfortable doing that. So just by working through this belief that I had really has shifted a lot of things.
Yeah. So I
It's
just
been
want to like put this in as summarize it. So basically, you recognized over about a year that there was some powerful limiting beliefs, and you were trying to get at them, and you were definitely working on them. And we were able to uncover that there was a limiting belief that was connected to a lot of powerful emotions, and you developed the strategy of distracting yourself, so you kept yourself in what we're going to talk about at the conference as a loop. And once you identified this loop, your life basically transformed itself, and it was just by recognizing it. You didn't do anything else with it, did you?
that's the craziest part. I came, I sat, I talked to you, I identified something, I had a cry, and then all of a sudden things lifted. Like I feel so much more free, and I guess I didn't really know what that was. Like teaching yoga, we like this is what I teach: how to come back into your body, come to your peace, come into your true self, connect with God or your true self or whoever it is or whatever it is that you believe, so that you can feel that peace. Because that's what everybody wants: happiness,
Yeah.
peace,
Yeah.
calm. Already are, just like what you teach. But I don't think I knew what that was even.
Mhm.
And I just feel like I'm closer to that now, for sure.
Oh, it's so
And so
exciting, isn't it?
classes that I taught, which I, recognized as something that really I needed in my life, was that body mind connection, or really
Mhm.
listening to your body. And so in my yoga classes, that's what we really focus on: is we do a movement, you're connecting with your body and your mind. What's happening? What's your body telling you? What's your mind telling? What's your mind going on and saying while you're in this pose? You know, sometimes you're in a pose and you're like holding it and you're like, oh yeah, I can stay here forever. And then there's a point where you shift and say, oh my gosh, out. So it's just recognizing and listening, and really connecting. And I think that in my experience anyways, I've really been focused on reaching outside of myself instead of coming inside. So this has helped also to
What
yoga.
do you mean by that?
Well, looking for the next class or the next book or the next idea that I can pursue outside,
Mm.
instead of just listening to my own body, or like, oh, I've got this thing going on, I should go to the doctor and find out what it is, instead of just sitting and noticing what's happening inside my own body. And maybe it's because of an experience I had and now it's physically manifesting, or maybe it's because of an emotion that I've been feeling on and on and on.
Mhm, mhm. We talked about this for the conference, that we were going to do yoga, the type of yoga that you um, specialize in, I guess. So, do you mind sharing just what that is?
Yeah, so it's called classical hatha yoga because it's directly from India. So we combine the chanting. So first of all, the Oms, or the Om Shanti, which is the peace, Om is like a vibration in the body that helps to relax your nervous system. But also we connect with the movements. So the asanas we call mostly what most classes are built on.
Mm-hmm.
We work on the breathing and relaxation, concentration, meditation. So we're combining all of those aspects inside one class. Um, from my experience, what I've seen at some of the Western classes that I've been to in Canada is they're very focused on the exercise or the movement, but not so much focused on the meditation or the breathing. So in this particular classical hatha yoga, we focus on all aspects. Mm-hmm.
And will people have to know what yoga, like have taken it before to be able to participate?
Not at all.
Okay.
And this is the part where, you know, everyone is on their own mat listening to their own bodies. And so you do what you um, feel, what feels comfortable for you. But the postures and the movements, I mean, you could do the whole class with your eyes closed, just listening.
Okay. And
Yeah.
they could sit in a chair too if they wanted, right?
Absolutely. So the other part about the yoga and the classes that I teach is a lot about awareness, and that's like one of the definitions of yoga is awareness. But it's really keying in on listening and becoming more aware, so you can become more aware in your life through the day, um, and bringing it into all of the time, not just in your yoga class. Like, you know, anyone who's done yoga before knows that deep peace that you feel after a class. And the idea is that we want to teach awareness and how to bring that into your daily life.
Mm. Yes, and that's what it's all about. That's what the conference is designed to do, about
Right.
how to do that, how to bring awareness into your daily life so that those limiting beliefs or those old strategies are not dictating how you're living your life.
Yeah. And that's the
Yeah.
one thing that I really loved about last year's conference, which is where I learned a lot of the tools that I used over this past year,
Yeah.
was that you really bring, yeah, it's not the kind of conference that you sit around and take notes. It's more about the doing. Like, we actually go through the exercises and do the exercises, and you're there to help and help bring these things up right there. So it's a really unique experience, more like a in my experience anyways, the last year really helped me with a lot of well, this whole year working on different beliefs and moving through things. And it's just like an interactive conference, not just like a learn, here you go, see you later, because you're there right to help them.
Yeah. Thanks, Julie.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so excited for the conference. We'll see you soon. Take care.
Hey,
Namaste.
namaste. Big hug.